you get that perpetual zoom, where you zoom in on the reflection in the mirror, and you just see infinite versions of the mirror, like that kind of cracked reflection, where it's like the infinite. You can't stay that zoomed in. You're not supposed to stay that zoomed in. You got to zoom out and look at the whole picture.
Yeah.
You can't just be focused on the rabbit hole, because you can't get caught in the rabbit hole. You got to climb out of it sometimes.
I put my phone on, do not disturb. Don't wanna talk, I don't want to hear.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 15th episode of the Conscious Cast. I'm your host, Cal, along with my other host, Cole.
The Grandmaster.
The Grandmaster, all right? And so, we're 15 episodes deep. We're like 4 months into this, and
Is it 4? I thought it was like way longer.
Dude, it might even be 5 or 6. Honestly, I don't even know at this point, but you know. We're killing it, man. We're dropping knowledge and
Bestowing wisdom.
the wisdom beyond wisdom. But yeah, so today's episode is going to be about struggle and just overall, like how to bounce back from it. Like what to do, like when you're in it, and like we're going to describe kind of just the state that we're in, because it's a lot easier to describe how to respond to it versus when you're actually in that circumstance. Like, you can know what to do, but then when you're in that circumstance, it's kind of hard to execute if you haven't done it before.
That's
and like,
true.
And like Cole said, he's like hasn't been like.
Yeah, I've been fucking exhausted this week, truth be told, and I don't know if that's from just me doing something wrong or just I'm in a funk, but I think it might be a byproduct of me going ham last week, and it's like, whoa, slow down, and my body's kind of forcing me to slow down.
Yeah.
Like I haven't been sleeping that well, which is nothing new for me, but it's just you gotta power through it. But this is a recovery week for me, pretty much. I'm still getting shit done, but I don't have the gas pedal mentality right now. My foot isn't on my it's not pedal to the metal. It's more like, foot is off the gas, but feather it so you can keep your car rolling.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's where I'm at right now. I have a lot of shit to do, but I'm giving myself enough time to rest and, feel better, and before I can fucking go in and kick ass again. But it's because it's really just only been this week that I've been feeling kind of funky this way. It's happened before, like it's very much on and off feeling where my body's just like, too much stuff. You need to cool down.
Yeah.
And that's a big, talk back when we were talking about, what was it?
Breaks?
Yes. It was on the time management episode. We were talking about taking breaks. This is a very, very important time, for me, because I have to take a break. I know I got a lot of shit to do, but I can still get shit done through the struggle and slow it down.
Yeah.
It's different. You can,
Let me ask you a question real quick.
What's up?
Okay, so this is something that I've found, within my own experience. We all experience funks, right? We're human, right?
Yeah.
We're never, everyone does to some extent, right? But depending on how long that funk lasts is dependent on your current state and what your dominant state is, right? So let me ask you a question. So this funk that you're feeling right now, do you know that you're going to get out of this funk?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
This is you have to. I know this is only a temporary state of being that I'm in currently.
Gotcha.
And I hope that it'll, I won't be feeling this kind of shitty in the next week. But if I do, I just keep working through it, because this is not how I'm used to feeling. And once I get back to a state of normalcy, for lack of a better term,
In your dominant state.
I'll be, better to operate. But you can still operate in the sometimes inoperable situations, for lack of a better term. When your car is busted, you got a blown something, it mostly will still work, but it won't work as good. So you have to think of yourself like kind of an engine, going back to the kind of being a machine, even though you're not a machine, but still, you can't run your computer all the time and expect it to function, fire at all cylinders. You got to power down. You got to recharge your batteries.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what I'm doing this week, but I'm still selectively getting shit in and working.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it's really I'm glad you brought up that point because I experienced that too. We're both human. And I've told you this before, or maybe I told someone else, maybe Jordan. I told him, but like a lot of like the people I'm around, kind of have this perception of me that I feel like no pain, no suffering, right? Because I don't really advocate for meditating, right? Like I don't like outright be like, yo, I like to meditate.
Yeah, you don't
push it on others.
Yeah.
I just kind of like when they bring it up, I just talk about it, and I talk about my experience, and then they kind of like place that image on me, which there's nothing wrong with.
Yeah.
But kind of through that self-image, they kind of attach these standards and these expectations that like I said before, we don't like. I should not feel suffering. I should not like. I should be acting a certain way. Like I shouldn't be swearing. I shouldn't be like acting out of like that type of standard that they have set.
Yeah.
And
they
like
put you in a box.
Yeah, put me in a box, exactly, of limitation. But that box is just merely an idea. And I experience suffering, and I notice like when I'm not in that dominant state of like how I normally am, like you said, like you have this. Obviously, there's no guarantee, but you have this inner knowing that you'll return back to that dominant state. Like you could see that, like, okay, you recognize that I'm suffering right now. You recognize that I'm struggling right now. Like, you're out of a funk. You're not feeling it, right? But deep down, this can't last forever, right?
Yeah.
It's only temporary. And through that, we can kind of see the reverse, right? So people who are suffering constantly, right? They're constantly feeling anxiety. But let's just say they feel happiness for a little bit, right? They feel productive. They feel like those opposite feelings. I wonder if it's the same if they're like, I know I'm going to go back to negativity. And so my question to you is,
I think that's a lot of people,
dude,
especially in our generation.
Dude, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, with like the mental health crisis going on right now, and it's just like hey, just because you have like a mental health condition doesn't mean you're any less of a person. It doesn't mean you can't achieve any less.
Yep.
That's how it is. But it's like they gotta, you're not less of a person. You were born that way. You just need help.
Yeah,
But you can still be the best you that you can be even with that kind of parasite on you, on your mind. Because like, if anything, like that makes you stronger than like me or Cal.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
because it's like, sure, we feel shitty sometimes, but we don't have to deal with it every day. If you deal with that shit every day and you're like still here, that's your superpower.
This reminds
Perseverance is your fucking superpower.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I told this to last semester, a kid called me, my position. I'm an RA on campus, and a resident called me, and he was like, I need someone to talk to, right? Like I was on duty that night, and so I went to go talk to him, and he's like saying how he just, he just needs to be with someone. Right, and I don't remember exactly like how the conversation went, but I was like telling him, and I was like, dude, you have something that no one else has. Like you have that experience of suffering, right? You have that experience of like how you're feeling right now versus like me who like doesn't have that type of experience. And like through you sharing that, through you communicating that with others, you have like a gift, right? You have something that a lot of other people don't have. And I know that kind of sounds like, oh, wow, I have suffering that no one else has. Yeah, you kind of do in a sense. It's a gift because you can, and then when I said this to him, he literally started crying. Like, he started, nothing bawling his eyes out, but he started tearing up. He's like, dude, that means so much to me. And, don't get me wrong, I didn't fucking cure his suffering, but, I kind of, gave him a different perspective of how he can use that suffering to actually benefit himself and maybe teach others in the future. Because, like I was saying before, even what you said, they're even more they're kind of stronger than we are, right? Because in a sense, we're not used to staying in such a, I don't know what it's like to constantly, I do know what it's like to feel negativity temporarily, but what about long-term time periods of just pure suffering? I've never experienced that, right? Long-term depression, long-term anxiety. I'm blessed that I have found avenues that have, complete, working out, all this shit that have completely wiped that off. There's no, in my opinion, there's no chance I would ever face that in my life. But for people who are able to bounce back from that, that whole entire experience and shift their state to ones like ours, like a more preferable one that like the head doesn't have like fucking resistance and fucking here you go.
Yeah.
It doesn't have like resistance or like just fucking pain constantly, bro.
Yep.
It's incredible because then you can have both experiences and both viewpoints.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it's like that. Those things are you can't. Those are like you can't like. I'm gonna get on the other side of this. It's like it's weird because it's like it's not like me, where it's like I have this kind of internal negativity that I do deal with every day, but it's not clinical diagnosis.
Yeah.
It's a personal, I guess, core flaw, for lack of a better term. It's like something that I just lived with, and I don't necessarily it's something I can get rid of, but I just don't know how to.
Interesting.
And that's probably a therapy question or something else, but it's like one of the things where it's just like I go to the gym, I deal with it, I let the devil out, and I come back and I can exist as a functioning member of society without this, burden upon my.
If you didn't work out, how do you think that negativity would affect you? Or you didn't have avenues that would like help,
I would probably be in prison, to be honest. It's like because it's like
there you go.
because it's like I would be a completely different person because it's because that's not me anymore. It's the demon. It's the negativity. It's the fucking monster.
Yeah.
That's what that is. That's like if I didn't get it out, I would become that thing. And the whole deal with me is like I can't allow myself to become that guy. Because if I become that guy isn't me and it's inauthentic. But if I become that guy, I'm not a person anymore. Really, I'm a negative idea, for lack of a better term. I'm a cancer. It's like it's like a feeling of just pure, like, it's so hard to explain.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's not just like, oh, I get pissed at shit really easily. It's more like, and I don't know if it's a byproduct from me growing up in the kind of martial arts scene or something, but it's like, I get up and I have this feeling that it's like, I'm gonna hurt people and I'm going to enjoy it. And it's like, I can't be that guy. I can't.
Yeah.
Because that guy also gives me strength. But it's not good strength. It's like, it's literally the devil on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And if I can't listen to the whispers in my ear, or else I'm not going to be. I can't be that guy.
Yeah.
So I need these avenues. Again, if I didn't have ways to get it out, it would come out in other ways that aren't good.
Yeah.
And it's like those. That's my curse. But I gotta live with it. But it's I can let go of it because it's born out of like an undiagnosed want for revenge, I suppose. I don't know. It's like I got bullied. I'm angry about it. I'm still angry about it now. And
so did you have it before you got bullied, or was it?
No.
Okay.
It was a byproduct of me being bullied as a kid, and it's just stuck with me.
Wow.
And so I think at the core, it's like I have to forgive.
Yeah.
But I don't. But I've lived with it so long, I don't know how to.
Yeah, it's just like it's not freaking easy, right? You've
No.
lived with it since childhood.
Yeah.
And once again, something I was not bullied, but not fucking crazy bullied. You know, sure, I was put down a bit. My friends would be like, "Oh, okay, I'll go get hit by a bus," or something. Not nothing crazy. And to a certain extent, it did last for a period of time. But it's stuff like that, not to my extent, but to your extent, that really affect us for the rest of our lives, right? And it's it's not our fault, right?
No, it's not
our fault. And it's until our brain develops or we have help when we're a child, even when we do have help as a child, it only helps so much. Don't get me wrong, it helps a lot of kids, but most likely that effect is still going to be there to some extent, right? And it's that suffering, that pain, leaves such a mark on you. And it's to undo that, Mark, is like to undo a major part of yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like
It's so fucking hard.
and like luckily for me, like I've never had crazy things like, and like my mom, I've had like a single mom for like nearly all my life, right? But luckily for me, like it hasn't affected me like that, right? Mm-hmm. For some people in that situation, it affects them like crazy. I don't know why, but I've just been so desensitized to it, and I think a big part of that is your sensitivity towards it. Like, how much does it affect you emotionally, and like even spiritually, like on an energetic level, and how much that imprint leaves, and then how much it takes to undo that imprint is hard to understand.
It's like a dent. It's like a dent in your car, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Excuse all the fucking car analogies. It's just how I'm operating.
Yeah.
But it's like, say someone fucking takes a sledgehammer and smashes in the side of your door. You can open the door. Still works. You can still open the door, but the dent's always there. But you gotta sometimes put in. You have to put in more work to get the dent out than initially took to put it in.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah. In terms of the funk I'm currently having, and how I'm getting out of it. So, haven't been sleeping well. I'm tired. Feels like I'm wearing a lead blanket, for lack of a better term, and I'm walking around with this weight on me, and I'm fucking exhausted. Not to the point where I'm passing out in class, unless it's by choice, because the class is boring as fuck, and I really want to sleep. But that's beside the point. Yeah. How I'm getting out of it, I have a lot of shit to do. I'm not really feeling up to it, but I'm keeping my schedule structured. So that's how I'm kind of progressing through this funk that I'm in. It's a physical funk more than a mental funk, really. There's there's physical funks and mental funks. Sometimes you can have the tag team funk, which is fucked. If you have a mental and physical funk, it's complex. So, but I am in a physical funk right now. So I'm dragging ass. I've been dragging ass this whole week. I've been getting shit done, but I've been kind of at a snail's pace. I have a lot of shit to do, but I haven't been feeling up to it because I feel physically meh. So as a result, I'm keeping my mind occupied with, work, but in between bouts of rest. Not sleeping necessarily, but just mental rest. Because if you treat a physical funk like you do like a conjoined funk, for me at least, it helps me get through it a little better. So I am in between like watching shows or whatever, or just relaxing. I'm taking notes. So I'm just coaxing myself through it. I'm getting shit done still. I've been doing notes here and there for my classes and doing homework and doing tests and practicing. But just sporadically throughout. I go to class, I come back, I rest, I do homework. I go to the gym, I come back, I make food, I eat, I shower, I do homework, go to sleep. And I'm focusing on my sleep more than anything else during this week because that's where I feel the core of my funk is resting, it's hiding in. That's you gotta find the core issue to the funk. And whether it's stress or lack of energy or whatever it is that happens to be afflicting you in the funk, you need to figure out what the core of it is, diagnose it, but also but don't rush it. You can't rush a funk. You need to take it slow. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking it this entire week. I've been taking it slow. And when I get my energy up, and I've been feeling myself coming back, so by the time this weekend comes, I feel like I'll be firing on all cylinders.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's I like one of the things, like, you can't rush the process, right?
Yeah,
you gotta respect the process and make do with what you have,
Yeah.
And like when I say make do with what you have, I mean literally make do with what you have, And if it's like, obviously we want to be fucking feeling sporadic, have endorphins flying through our brain 24/7, and just be super energetic, but and like kind of, once again, what you were pointing towards was like, whether it be your job, whether it be school, whether it be something you're doing that requires a great deal of effort, time, and energy, you have to really recognize when you need to take breaks, when you need to do what you have to do, right? But not kind of over-exuberate yourself unnecessarily.
Yeah.
And that is, I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. And it's something that I find very profound with the mind. And it's like when we're constantly thinking, when we're constantly like, okay, like I said, like do, and it's like, it's there's this urge, this natural urge within us to just keep doing, right? And not enough being, you know, I say this all the time. But like I was walking back from the cafeteria and this kid, I don't know what he was doing, but I was just like, I just got out of studying, and I was like, my you know, when after you're done studying, you're still like, you know, you're thinking a lot. And
Yeah. I
I was like walking like past the circle and like up to the hill, and this kid's just standing there, like just looking around. I'm like, what the fuck is this kid doing? You know, it was like so out of the ordinary, and like it reminded me. I was just like, dude, like I gotta take a step back and just like be present, you know. I just gotta like look at this shit around me, like appreciate. Like I'm not sure if this is what the kid was doing, but that just circumstance of like seeing him doing that, like while everyone else is walking with an intention to go somewhere in their headspace, you know, which a lot of humans are, including myself. Just take a step back and just be, you know, because like the world around us is whole and complete, including ourselves. You know, like we're literally life itself, but we're playing a game right now that we have created, and there's nothing wrong with the game, you know. I like the game. I'm sure you do too. And you know, we get to create the reality we want, right? And that's what we're doing. But we got to realize that this game has flaws. This game has
there's bosses.
yeah, there's bosses, and it's not going to always work out how you want it to.
There's enemies in the game.
Yeah, and
You gotta be aware.
yeah, be aware, and you can't control everything. And so, like through realizing that, you can take a step back, realize what you can control, and just, you know, work on your inner state, how you respond to situations, and just ultimately try your, because I know stress is natural for a lot of people, but if you can try your best to stay stress-free when approaching situations while recognizing, like, okay, like, listen, I know I can do this assignment right now, but I know it's not the most beneficial if I do this assignment rather than getting sleep. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And like going back to what you're saying about like you were still in study mode and you saw that dude kind of looking around, you were zoomed in. You were like that's the difference. I like to make this analogy because I really like it. You're zoomed in like all the time. When you're focusing on something, you are zoomed in. But sometimes when you're too zoomed in, you miss the big picture. So you got to zoom out.
yeah.
And sometimes when you're focusing on something or you're working like your ass off, sometimes it's a good choice to zoom out because just so you can get a different perspective.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
I saw this thing on Instagram. It was this psychological concept called the Batman effect, and it was essentially like where a patient creates an alter ego to better observe a situation without like emotion. Like, you know how I always talk about it, and it's like I always like to take a step back and look at a problem, see it for what it is, as opposed to how I feel about it. This is an extreme version of what I do. It's essentially creating a pseudonym, a persona, to do that for me. That doesn't have my emotions. If I create something that is without emotions, that can only see the problem for what it is, that is the extreme end of that. That is the Batman effect. But it's the same thing. You need to kind of adapt that into your just normal life. You know, you have a problem that you have stress. You need to take the emotion out of it and look at it for what it is. You got a, flat tire, you're pissed. Take your emotion out of it. Look at what it is.
Yeah.
I got a spare on the back. I got the tools. Worst case, I got my boys on the phone. I can call them up. They can help me. I got this math equation. I fucking hate it. I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm confused. I'm angry. I don't like it. Take the emotion out of the equation. Look that shit up online. You know, it's look at it for what it is.
Yeah.
stress especially is good for this, because if you're too zoomed in, if you get that perpetual zoom, where you zoom in on the reflection in the mirror, and you just see infinite versions of the mirror, like that kind of cracked reflection, where it's like the infinite. You can't stay that zoomed in. You're not supposed to stay that zoomed in. You got to zoom out and look at the whole picture.
Yeah.
You can't just be focused on the rabbit hole, because you can't get caught in the rabbit hole. You got to climb out of it sometimes. And once you climb out of the rabbit hole, you can see the world for what it really is.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not in this like distorted perception
No.
of reality of like how you think it is versus how it actually is.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how you describe it. And like you zoom in, how I think it is, how it really is.
Yeah. It's like within your conscious mind, like when you're so zoomed in like that, like you're only focused on like what you're thinking about, right? Like don't get me wrong, your subconscious mind is to a certain extent you are present, but not like near, like you're like probably 5% present, you know, like, and that other 95% of your conscious mind is just, you know, focused on those imaginary hypothetical thoughts about something else out of this moment. And like you said, I really like that when you zoom out, right, and you like let the thoughts fade. I mean, thoughts can still come in, but you're not being engulfed by them.
Yes.
And like you could take a step back, and this is something I love about nature, and like just even this room in general. It's even like, it could be in any situation where you find yourself becoming aware of the present moment again. And you take that step back and you're like, bro, this present moment is like, I'm the one creating all of this chaos, like within me through my thoughts, right? I'm distorting this present moment in shapes that make it appear as though in a different way than it actually is. And it's like, this room is neutral. Like when we take a step back, nothing's trying to hurt me. Everything's neutral beyond my perception. But it's like, wow, we create so much fucking chaos for ourselves. Like, and like when you're in those hypothetical situations, let's just say you're creating stress, suffering, anxiety for yourself, like which negative emotion, which I find myself doing, not frequently, but I do it every single day. Your body can't tell the difference, right? Your subconscious body, they think you're in that situation. So like we say, like fight or flight, right? Imagine like you're constantly in a fight or flight mode, which according to research is very valid and tends to shorten a lot of individuals' lives. So it requires a sense of conscious awareness of this present moment, seeing shit for what it is, right? And not suppressing like your emotions or suppressing like how you feel, or you know, you can develop kind of like that objective viewpoint of the Batman effect, right?
Yeah.
And you could just take your emotion out of it and not like completely suppress it. Be like, okay, it's there. I'm not going to let it influence me though.
Yeah.
And then you get to work. You change that tire. You tackle that equation, whether that be through, you know, just finding something that can help you rather than deteriorating what you already are like through your thoughts. You ready, my dude?
Oh,
Do you want me
yeah, you take.
Okay, all right. So,
do some fucking meme shit.
you know what? So I think
You know, just fucking Jordan. Did he show you that fucking song?
no.
I shit it in my pants. I am for real. It's so fucking funny.
man.
He just put it on one day when he was chilling at the house and he was fucking crying.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Of course.
Fucking
it's
hilarious.
Jordan,
It was so fucking funny. And it just popped. Shit just pops into my head fucking randomly.
There you go.
Blooper reel. All right. Back to business.
No, I think that's a good point. Yeah, I think to get out of suffering, like we need like avenues, like we kind of discussed this before, avenues and ways that can pull us out of that, you know. And I think for a lot of people, they choose the wrong avenues. You know, whether that be drugs, whether that be just excessive Netflix watching, like, you know, just, you know, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with watching Netflix. I'm saying like to an extent where,
Yeah.
you know, we'll put it in more general terms.
No, yeah, no,
Like-
that was good, but just the way it's excessive Netflix watcher. You have a problem. Get fucking help.
Get fucking help.
Yeah, no. Too much anything is bad.
No, yeah, exactly. But it's like whatchamacallit, it's, we'll put it in more general terms, like excessive technology use, right? Like you're so attached. Excess, right? And it's like
too much of the gym.
Fucking
bird.
Yeah, fucking bird.
Too much bird.
Too much bird. Yeah, just fucking bird, dude.
Fucking bird, man.
Birdman. Man, we're fucking rolling right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like too much too much of anything, man.
Yeah,
It's
can't have too much.
you can't have too much, right? Or too little. Or you gotta find that balance. And it's like when we try to escape our problems, when we try to suppress our problems, for a large, like Ralph Smart says, the human being's always on the run from himself.
Ooh,
it's
good.
like, yeah,
That's
it's
really
like, I mean, oh yeah, if you want quotes, fucking watch that guy. Like, dude has his own whole fucking arsenal of like amazing quotes. Like, it's so profound. But yeah, like the human being's always on the run from himself. They don't want to face the shit in front of them. And like, listen, to a certain extent, like I'm guilty. Like I'm sure in unconscious ways I suppress my emotions. Like we all do, right? Like we said, we're only human. But comes a point in time where, like, sure, you can throw minor shit out the window. Okay, it's not gonna have that much of an effect, right? But if you are throwing major shit out the window, that's gonna have a major effect on you. Mm-hmm. So, like what you're going through right now, it's a pretty big thing, right? Like your funk is, I would say, pretty big.
Medium.
Yeah, I mean, it's affecting you though, right? Mm-hmm. In a way that like you can consciously be aware of it, right? But like you are responding to that with a good approach, right? You're responding to it in a good way that you know can help you get you out of that funk. Like you said, we respect the healing process, right? The healing, like a wound doesn't heal in a day, right? It takes time to heal, but if you keep continually picking at that scab, right, or picking at that cut, like it's only gonna take longer.
Yeah.
And when we just like let it be,
you gotta leave it alone.
Leave it alone, and it heals itself. And if we can, like, okay, maybe we do the right treatment, we put a Band-Aid around it, right, that has been proven to be effective, like, or more in relation to, like, you gotta find ways and like experiment here and there with what the most effective way to not enhance that wound, but to also help it heal as quickly as possible, right? So, yeah.
To mitigate and accentuate. To mitigate the length of the funk. And to accentuate the healing process of getting out of the funk. And sometimes that's just doing shit you like.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's doing shit you don't like, but it's doing it in a way that it doesn't... What's the word I'm looking for?
Harm?
No, not harm. Instigate the funk. That's the word I'm looking for. Where it doesn't harass it. It doesn't mess with it. It does, and it doesn't disturb the healing process. It's not gonna. If you work yourself to the bone while you're in a funk, you're just gonna extend the length of the funk.
Yeah.
You gotta fucking take a step back. You gotta vibe. You gotta vibe through your funk. Sometimes. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Trying to chill.
Just go with the flow.
I've been listening to music, like more different music, because I'm fucking. I say
Mumble
different. No, fuck that.
I know.
But
despise that with a burning passion.
Not as much as Lizzo. Lizzo holds a specific type of contempt in my heart because every time, without fail, I don't have my fucking headphones at the gym. They put that goddamn whale on, that fucking terrible music that I have to listen to as I'm trying to fucking squat. I hate it. I hate that with a burning passion.
Yeah. Oh, the music they play at rec?
It's just some of it's whack at the gym, at the school gym that we have. But every time when I'm in there, just me, it's fucking Lizzo. I want to kill myself. I want to take fucking pens and shove them into my ears to stop me from listening to this fucking cancer. I don't even know how the fuck you call it music. It's cancer. It's just it's ear rape. I can't fucking stand it. It's god fucking awful. and every time I'm forced to listen to it because I don't have my fucking headphones in the gym. But nonetheless, I listen to the same fucking genre of music pretty much. I've been listening to different music during the funk, help me get through the funk, and also broaden my taste in music. So I'm not as sheltered. I'm like, hey, I listen to a lot of rock music. There's different types of rock music that I listen to, as opposed to completely other different genres of music. Like, you would never expect this from me. I fucking love classical music. Beethoven is fucking awesome. Für Elise is a banger. You can't fucking not tell me that Beethoven does not slap when you're fucking studying. So, but, you know, I'm a slut for classical music, for lack of a better term.
You're a slut for classical music?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dude, are you kidding me? Bach on the fucking organ? Excellent. Excellent. Don't even get me fucking started. I love classical music. But it's like, I'm trying to branch out. I'm like, what music would I not listen to ever? And let me see how it is. Let me fish around in this fucking genre while I'm getting through this funk. And all the while I'm just doing monotonous work, which is just taking notes. Sometimes you gotta do the boring stuff. Because in a funk, you can't put your best foot forward to the good stuff. So that's why I'm saving that for post-funk. You know? I'm here, mid-funk. Probably towards the tail end of the funk. And I'm chilling here, I'm vibing, listening to music, and I'm getting work done, but I'm just doing notes. I'm catching up on shit that I miss. And then when I'm ready, when I'm post-funk, and I have the shit that I really need to, like, sink my teeth into, I can fucking attack it like a rabid animal. So you have to kind of take it slow, both with getting shit done and also healing and getting through the funk. So that's what I'm doing. And I feel like if more people realize, like, a lot of times people get stuck in funks when it's the worst time imaginable. You got shit on your plate piled up to the ceiling, and you need to take it off the plate and take it down. But you're in the funk, and people just kind of end up working their ass off, doing a shit job at it, and feeling ass about it. And it just spirals and further down the funk. You got, hey, what's at the very bottom of my list? Or, like, what's the most boring thing I can do here? And just take it slow. You gotta vibe, you know, take it slow. That's all you gotta do. You gotta take it slow. Both with what you have to do and what you want to do. Listen to music, be alone if it helps, or get help, and then do the slow stuff.
Yeah.
And when you're back at top shape, pick up the speed.
Yeah, definitely. And I think another thing, like everything you said there was great, 100%. But something I thought of while you were saying that was pretty much how, like, when let's just say I get a cut, right, and that cut is like healing, right? Like, it's just naturally healing. Like, my body has resources to heal that cut, right? But over time, if I keep picking at that cut, right, and it just makes it worse and worse, it prolongs the process, my body's eventually going to run out of resources to fuel that cut, and eventually that cut will become a permanent effect.
Yeah.
Right? So if you can kind of see the analogy I'm making there, right? If something happens to you, like, and don't get me wrong, there are extents to this, depending on the situation you are in, the funk you are in, but, like, let's just say you're in a funk, right? And it's just similar to Cole's, right? Where you know that you'll return to a more dominant state eventually, right? But, like, if that funk is, like, completely new for you and you don't know how to respond to it, there's a good chance that funk can really mess you up, and it maybe not completely mess you up, but alter you in ways that are, I'll put it like this: you could be, like, normally how you are, right, and then you can get in a situation and it can completely change your mood for that day. Like, you got to remember your dominant state. You got to remember to take it back a notch and realize, like, okay, like, if I go through with this, it's going to have effects on me, right? And it's going to change the state. So, for example, like I was in a situation, the tent out by like Vance, right? Like the big tent on the lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was sitting there doing homework.
Hey, do you know what's up with that?
You just, I think it's just like a sitting area.
Really?
Yeah, you can just go into there and do homework. That's what I do.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a nice area. Well, it's probably too cold now, but it's a
Not
nice
for
area.
me.
Yeah. Hey, there you go.
Like the frost. Keep it fucking.
Born in the cold.
Keep it icy. That's how I like it.
Yeah, facts, honestly. But yeah, like I was doing homework, and then out of nowhere, this individual who just started fucking shouting like to her mom on the phone, like she was foreign, and like I was doing homework and I was wicked concentrated, and then like I began to get the feeling of annoyance, right? I began to get like a little bit irritated, and I was like, just like trying to like mitigate it, and I was just like, okay, like this is really kind of like it's getting on my nerves a little bit, but I like observed the emotion. And don't get me wrong, that shit was not easy. Like, I definitely felt like I wanted to say something. Like, I 100% wanted to say something like, shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to work.
I know, I feel that.
Yeah, but you gotta realize, like, the circumstance you're in, their kind of how they're situated in regards, like, their view in regards to the situation. Like, she might be seeing that as completely normal, right? And I see that as abnormal. And kind of like, just take a step back and like just give yourself 3 to 5 minutes to just let that initial thing fade away. And that's exactly what happened. I eventually got used to her shouting beyond measure, and I was able to, not completely do my work efficiently, but I was able to get back into it and realign my concentration and realign my focus and attention on the task at hand. Mm-hmm. And so like just kind of like with that, if I was to act on that, and I would never like, just blatantly scream at someone. Like, I would approach it in a very calm, sensitive manner, and I would just be like, hey, I'm just trying to do work over there. Do you mind if you just, just not speak as loud? That's literally how I'd handle it. But, internally.
That's how you should handle
it. And internally, you want to fucking scream, right?
Yeah. Let me say what Cal's too nice to say. If you are one of those fucking people who will just get into a full screaming match on the phone in public, get the fuck out, please. just what the fuck is wrong with you? Why?
There's an issue
Why do you feel the need to fucking just get into a screaming match in public? Like, do you have nothing fucking better to do? Do you not realize that we have texting for this reason? Yeah. You can shout at someone silently. If you're in a public area, you should shout at someone silently. If you get screamed at on the phone, that's different. You do not have to reciprocate the fucking volume. Yeah. Also, those people that talk on the phone on speaker, like I will only use speakerphone if it's like I'm calling one of the boys and it's something everybody should hear.
Yeah.
Or if it's just me in my room quietly, and no, I'm not bothering anyone. Why the fuck are you talking on speakerphone? I don't give a shit about your conversation. I don't care about your grandmother's ointment that you need to pick up. I don't need to hear about it. Why? Why are you publicly broadcasting shit no one else gives the fuck about? Stop it. Get some help.
Get some help. Yeah, but I just want to know, like, that girl was not like yelling, like she wasn't in a conflict. But you made a good point, right? Yeah. Like she was like complimenting her mom. She was like, "Oh my God, Mom! Like you look so good!" Like, but it was like beyond like what was acceptable in my opinion, right? Like, but like that might be acceptable to her. It's different. It's subjective. But yeah, like
stop it.
Just stop it. Yeah, you gotta. I wish she could stop it, but like once again, you can't control every situation, right? You can't get what you always want. And would I rather take a few minutes of just irritation? Yes, I would take that in a heartbeat over me prolonging a funk.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Oh God, that was. I love the enthusiasm. We're just like, would I rather have a little bit of inconvenience? Yes! Yes. That's how you gotta feel about it. Yeah, it's just gotta be
tactical
like...
L, man.
Take the tactical L.
Fuck yeah.
To hell with the funk. Let Let it ride.
Take it,
Take it slow.
And funks will come, right? Like, don't get me wrong, natural funks, long periods of funks will come.
Yep.
But a lot of times it's instigated by us humans, and we do not want that to be our dominant state.
No, we do not. But
Because-
also, if you are in a funk, ask for some help.
Yeah,
Get some
yeah.
Get
Someone
some help.
is willing to talk to you.
You got people that love you.
Yeah, your friends, family, counselors.
Talk to them.
Your dog,
about
your
the
cat.
funk. Dogs.
Yeah.
Fucking, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Your dog will always be there for you. They are just. I saw this fucking. I think it was Patrice O'Neill. He was doing this skit about like, we can't. Dudes love like dogs. That's why dogs are man's best friend, because it's like, because they feel how you feel and they vibe with you. You're like, you come into them, you're like, fuck, and your dog's like, fuck. And it's just like,
That's awesome.
and so you come into your room and you're like, I feel like shit, and your dog's like, no, I feel that shit too. And he's right there with you.
Yeah. That's
You're
awesome.
like, you feel like shit, your dog comes over to cheer you up, and it's like, you gotta be. I fucking love dogs. That's the point I'm getting at. But yeah, it's like you gotta vibe with people sometimes.
Yeah,
and if you're vibing with your dog, that's the best.
Yeah, oh yeah. Find those people you can vibe with that can
Yeah,
uplift you.
get
Surround yourself in the right environment.
get people that can get you through the funk, or get pets that can help you through the funk.
Thanks.
Hell, if you got a bearded dragon lizard named Charizard, put that motherfucker on your shoulder. Talk to his ass.
Yeah.
Vibe with your brother Charizard.
Uh-huh.
Get it going.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Signing off, baby.
Yeah, episode 15.
All right, that was.
Run it back.
I put my phone on, do not disturb. Don't wanna talk, I don't wanna hear